All right. Welcome back. For those of you that are new here, my name is Riley, and today we're going to talk about taking risks. More specifically, I want to teach you how to know when it's right to take risks in your life and maybe make those big changes that you're afraid to make, as well as how to handle the emotional roller coaster that I damn well know comes with taking those risks and making those big decisions. And so today, to kick us off, I want to read a quote to you. The biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that's changing really quickly, the only strategy that is guaranteed to fail is not taking risks. So that comes from Mark Zuckerberg. Whether you're a fan of his or not, I thought that was a really powerful quote to kind of set the stage for our conversation today. So in my own life, I've had so many times where I truly felt like there was a window of opportunity, or maybe my back was against the wall and I knew I had to make a choice and take a risk. I was born without risk aversion, maybe, or maybe I'm reckless. Maybe I'm even lucky. I don't know, hell. But either way, many times in my life, I've taken big risks that didn't necessarily make logical sense. And even I had other people telling me it was a foolish thing to do, but intuitively or in my gut, I would say it felt right. The reason I want to tell you about this today is because those risks have led me to doing a lot of big things in my life, such as earning $1 million in my career before the age of 25. Getting out of bad relationships and into what I now consider my dream relationship, traveling the world, finding my purpose, all sorts of cool shit that looking back would have not been possible if I had not been willing to or knew how to take those risks. And so again, today I'm going to teach you what I've learned about taking risks and learning that skill, which I think is the best skill I've learned so far in my life. And so let me tell you a few stories as an example. One of which that comes to my mind is in my career. There was a time when I was getting out of high school, looking to figure out what I wanted to do for my career. And I had the inspiration from my boy, Grant Cardone, shout out to Grant, to get into car sales. And I remember so many people were telling me like, oh, car salesmen are shitty. That's a risky career. You're not guaranteed to make money, all these different things. And you should find something more secure. You're too young. There's all these stories they were telling me. And I just knew in my gut it was the right thing to do. And so I went for it. And initially, life tests you. You take a big risk. It's not like it pays off right away. So for the first 2 months, I made no money. And I had all these people telling me, see, we told you so, maybe consoling me, trying to tell me maybe I should go do something else. And then bam, I stuck with it, believed in myself. And by the time that year had come and passed, my first year in car sales, I made like $80,000. So I kicked its ass, let's say. Then I'm in car sales for almost 2 years, and I have real estate people coming in and buying cars from me. And these people were making $10,000 a month. I even saw one guy that was making $3 million a year. And I just knew, I'm like, damn, that sounds like a good career. Maybe I'll make a change, because for those of you who know about the auto industry, it's kind of a club, let's say, where people get to the point where they make $200,000 or maybe $100,000 to $200,000 a year, and then they get this big ego and they kind of just stay stagnant because they don't know how to make money like that anywhere else. So they get stuck in the industry and they're working Saturdays and their family's pissed. And I had all these guys in my dealership telling me, oh, it's a stupid idea. You'll never make money in real estate. How's it going to feel when you have to come crawling back for your job and all this other dumb shit? I said, fuck it. I'm going to figure it out. Saved up 3 months of income, quit my job on a whim, got my real estate license. And again, anytime you take these big risks, life's going to test you. So what happens next is I go to sign up for my real estate license and it's like $2,000. I'm like, oh man, I only had like 15,000 saved up. My monthly expenses were like $5,000. I'm like, okay, $2,000. Now I've got closer to 60 days of expenses. Then I get set up for marketing. I start doing, advertising, and next, some more money goes down the toilet. And so I got to the point where I had less than 60 days to close my first real estate deal to secure my new career and not have to go crawling back with my tail between my legs for my job. And on the 60th day, literally no shit, I closed my first real estate deal. And since then I've made over $1 million in my career between car sales and real estate. So again, big risk paid off, even though people were talking some shit. And then a big example, a couple years ago, I was in a long relationship since the age of 14, almost 8 years long. And I got to the point where, because this relationship had turned sour, some infidelity, some other stuff like that, I just realized it wasn't the right move to stay in this relationship. And even though it tore my guts apart and was such a hard decision to make, I took that risk. And taking that risk led to all sorts of beautiful things. It led to me finding my purpose, figuring out why I'm alive, what it is I want to do with my life long term. it led to me having the opportunity out of the blue to travel the world. And one of the things I did is I got an invitation right after to go to Costa Rica, of all places, and work with ayahuasca, which if you're not familiar, look that shit up because it's crazy. But I go from in my comfortable little real estate career to next thing you know, I'm in a different country with 40 strangers, meeting God basically, and finding my purpose and all these beautiful things. Fast forward till today, taking that risk of leaving that relationship has led me to finding a new partner that I'm currently in my dream relationship, I'm proud to say, and also doing a lot of cool shit like traveling the world, having all these profound experiences. That leads me to this current moment where I'm doing it again, okay? I've been in real estate for a long time. I've loved my real estate career, but as of this year, I'm making the transition to being a full-time content creator, being a coach, and truly just living my purpose of helping people. And again, same thing. Logically, makes no sense. Why would I do it? Because in my gut, I know it's the right thing to do. And so thank you for being here supporting me as I go on this journey. And I put some more points on the scoreboard and put myself in a corner once again to see what I'm made of. And so as you can see, the track record so far has been pretty damn good, even though it has come with some serious emotional highs and emotional lows and moments where I truly thought I wasn't going to make it because maybe it was financially, maybe it was mentally, maybe it was emotionally. But what I've come to realize is that humans, we thrive on certainty in a completely uncertain world. There are truly no guarantees no matter what anybody tells you, whether it be follow the traditional path and get a job and you'll be fine. You'll retire one day and you'll be happy. Bullshit. Or whether it's a relationship, someone saying you're going to be together forever. Bullshit, right? Or hell, whether you and I are even going to be alive tomorrow, we don't know. There's so much uncertainty. But there is one guarantee I truly can make you. If you do not bet on yourself and take risks, your life will be stagnant or at the very least pretty damn boring, right? You will die with regret over what could have or should have been, rather than talking about how badass it was because you fucking went for it. You had the balls to make it happen. So that leads me to the end of this video. How do we take those risks or make those big decisions in our life and make those changes, but also manage the madness that can come with that, the emotional highs and lows? So here's what I've done to manage myself during those times of taking risks and how I also decided whether or not it was the right decision to make during those times. Number one, I focused on these things to manage myself during times of taking risks. And the first thing is I focused on what do I want the outcome to be, not the alternative. I didn't think about what happens if this doesn't work out. I thought about what happens if it does, then what? And every single time I think about that, when I take those risks, it pays off. And it not only pays off, but it gets me inspired and motivated, like I can make this happen. So first things first, focus on what you do want the outcome to be, not what you don't want it to be. The second thing is remember why you did it in the first place, or I guess I should say for myself, I would remember why I did it in the first place, okay? So something motivated me to consider taking that risk in the first place, or to make that change, I should probably stay focused on that because I wouldn't have done it if there wasn't a reason for me considering doing it in the first place. Another thing that I did, number 3, have a wider perspective. Life is not certain, and I would rather die knowing that I went for it than knowing that I chickened out, okay? And the fourth thing I did to manage myself during these times of risk is breathe. Getting passionate today. Just know it's going to be all right. Nothing is not figure outable. No matter what risk you take, you will always bounce back, and there is always an opportunity to improve and have a comeback if need be. And here's how I knew whether or not I should do it during those times of risk. Number 1, it was instinct or intuition. It wasn't always something that made sense logically, but I always felt deep down like it was something I should do. And I think we should trust ourselves in those times because there's a reason for that feeling and those things coming across our path in the first place. Number 2, I weighed out the pros and cons. What's the payoff versus what's the downside? And again, I always focus on the payoff because I'm a man of optimism, glass half full kind of guy. And then number 3, I would ask myself, look, am I scared? And if so, I probably should do it because I'm not only the type to face the fear, but if something scares me, it typically means there's an opportunity for me to grow there and to build that courage within myself, okay? And Ralph Waldo Emerson has a powerful quote that I will cap today's lesson with. He said, "Do the thing you fear, and the death of fear is certain." I'll add to that. We've talked about, courage throughout today, and you probably heard this before, that courage is not basically acting without fear it's acting in the face of fear. And in life, I truly believe that everything we want is on the other side of fear. Fear of failure, fear of what other people will think, fear of our own greatness. And if we can have the balls to go after it, life will get pretty damn good, or at least we're going to have some pretty cool stories to tell. So let me know down below what kind of videos you want to see from me in the future and one takeaway you got from today's video. And also check the link in my bio for resources for you to level up and start to win in your life, whether it's taking risks, making big decisions, making positive changes, whatever you need. Till next time, my friends, that's all I got. Peace.